reaction videos, and this is probably the first one I've actually done. Just want to show you a couple of clips here and talk through a bit. So let me just get this going. So this is Russell Brand. Now this is a misedit of 2 videos.
Experience. I know people have doubts about election integrity, but you must vote. It is your claim. Stake your claim and don't forfeit it willingly. Have your voice heard. My other recommendations are in the natural order. First, vote. The second is the Second Amendment. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in time of depression. People stocked up a pantry.
Right, so this is somebody just talking about prepping. Now, preppers have been these lunatics on the fringe of our movement, on the fringe of, you know, the real world, all of this stuff. Now, this guy's somewhere, looks quite official, looks quite posh, men in suits, and he's saying it. So this is mainstream now. There's preppers in the real world who watch, you know, the wrong TV, and this is happening.
So I think
he sounds like someone who's seen a little too much. The initial fears that caused these whistleblowers, you think is the purpose of deep state agencies? Is it to protect you? Is it to enable you to live freely and safely? Or does it operate on behalf of globalist interests? Is it a mechanism of control? In for violence?
So I'm massively taking this out of context. These are 2 videos I've kind of hashed together in a very short account of the news that you've probably already seen now. What I'm going to try and do in a minute is make a point about it, so bear with me.
That it was not a peaceful transfer of power, that Trump is a uniquely tyrannical figure and a danger, that in order to protect democracy you can only vote for one party. And I reckon that what we all have to learn now is that the game of centralized despotism has become a little more sophisticated.
Okay, scarcely truer words, right? What we've got here and what we're looking at is a bad campaign by both candidates now. We've got continued fascism of the kind that we're moving steadily towards, only it'll accelerate. Or we've got this prepper wilderness martial law guerrilla lunatic asylum across the whole of America. Now, carry on.
Aldous Huxley, Franz Kafka foresaw that. Most of us have been concerned about sort of military despotism, like dictators, banana republics, strong men. We didn't realise, no, it's bureaucracy that you've got to fear. They heighten the sense of ongoing crisis to legitimise ongoing authoritarianism.
Okay, now, my point is here. Which of those accusations that he's made doesn't apply to both sides? But it sounds to me like he's getting partisan. Now, alright, do we really want to take sides in an argument between a fart and a camel's ass?
Let me know how familiar you are.
And there's no truer test than courage under fire. So who do you want representing America? Yeah, absolutely. Election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime. This is no ordinary election. The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. They want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to take away your right to vote.
What kind of campaign are you making if you're talking about the First and Second Amendment? These are rights America's already got. So it's vote for these guys who aren't going to do anything, haven't pledged anything, have been in office for 4 years during COVID, and trust them again when they should be arrested. Or stick with what you got, which is all of it disappearing, but all they're offering to do is take it back to where you were, when it was all fucked up, when we wanted them in prison for things like Iraq.
Effectively,
Might have been hurricaned off.
It's referring to this idea of an unleashed, unhinged version of Trump, a second Trump administration. a more authoritarian version of Trumpism. That's the idea that drives dark MAGA. Really on board, even with the more authoritarian impulses of Trump. That says something. That says that he's been radicalized over the years in his politics.
No, what it says is there's Satanism on both sides. Everybody agrees a demon's going to win the election and it's going to do something unprecedentedly horrible. All they're doing is upping each other's column inches, pushing, so that the opposition, the people who lose, know that they've really lost and this time they're in trouble. And they're going to kill everybody.
All been radicalized over the years. We've come to accept authoritarianism, in particular, I suppose, as a result of the changes that took place during the pandemic, where it was normalized out those were ineffective. Mandate the use of medications. Turns out that those medications hadn't been correctly clinically trialed. Many people believe that the whole pandemic was, in a sense, an opportunity to understand how willing people would be to obey authority. Indeed, have a look at this. This is from the W. It seems to me we don't believe in anything except more and more authoritarian power being granted to the state in order to ensure that various vulnerable groups are protected. Protected from whom?
Now, as you can see, if you watch this pair of Russell Brand videos, I'm taking this completely out of context, but a point I'm trying to make is if you watch it selectively as I've just presented it, you don't know which side he's talking about here because they're both playing that game. So, I mean, this is the whole point. I don't really want to see Americans choose a side out of these two appalling options. I didn't 8 years ago, I didn't 4 years ago, and I don't now.
And protected how? And do you believe that that is their motivation? I were paying significant sums of money to censor, that censorship was taking place on meta platforms like Facebook, that censorships have been taking place on Google. In a way, there is no virtue and there is no principle. There is only the use. That weapon could be the judiciary. That weapon could be the media. That weapon could even...
Earlier in this video, and I cut it out, you had a guy commentating on Elon Musk and the fact that he would put the Trump rally all over the place. So X is promoting Trump. And here's Russell throwing exactly the same argument attack on Meta and Google when we've just watched Elon Musk doing the same thing. So, I mean, information's gone partisan. Now the alternative media is going partisan. I don't want either of these clowns. I'm not an American. I don't get to vote, but I wouldn't. And that's about it for this one. Let's wrap it up.